What do you think the Patriots' chances are of being involved in that tag and trade, Murray?
0. 0.0.
Mazz?
I would like to say less than 0. Is that allowable?
Why do you say that?
Well, because it's going to cost them draft capital and real money. So that doesn't sound like them. I don't care about everyone's saying they're going to be more aggressive. And you have these tweets yesterday from, real national reporters that feel like they're plugged in. Oh, no, they're going to be very aggressive, especially at wide receiver. Ooh, look out. I don't believe it. The track record has shown, even, going back to the Brady Belichick years.
Jimmy, is there something wrong with your elbow?
Yeah, that was me making the J.O. motion.
No, he was flexing his elbow there a little bit.
Yeah, the Patriots are going to be involved in spending money this offseason.
He's just flexing his elbow a little bit.
Hinge motion.
New bicep reps or something.
No, I don't believe it. It'd be great. I would love to be shocked by something that I didn't see coming from this team, but the track record shows something like this ain't happening.
So they are certainly putting it out there, though, that we're going to, day one, look out. Local guys, national guys, Jordan Schultz, you said, extremely aggressive at the receiver position. So what could they be talking about? I mean, seriously, what could those reports be?
A tight end.
Do you believe them?
Well, I think in their minds, they would categorize it as aggressive because they're so passive typically and just pick guys up off the street that they might actually sign a guy who's a little farther down on the list. Like, I could see that happening. But, again, I think it's relative is what I'm getting at. With them, I don't think that they have any intention of going high end, for any player in terms of, and I mean relative to what he should be paid. They don't like overpaying, plain and simple.
Here's what I'm starting to enjoy now, is the reasons we're taking these guys off the list. Did you have a thought here first, Murray?
No, go ahead.
It's like... It's everything but the most obvious. And the most obvious, obviously, is, of course, money. Right? Like, why aren't they doing these things? Obviously, because they don't feel the player is worth it. But now, according to the reports, start with Deebo Samuel. Only a fifth-round pick. Only $4+ million of guaranteed money. The Commanders picked up the full salary, but they didn't have to. They could have renegotiated, as the Patriots could have done. Only a fifth-round pick. And your fifth-round pick would have beaten the Commanders' fifth-round pick. But you know why they were out on Deebo Samuel? He's fat.
Yeah, out of shape.
Out of shape. Mm-hmm. So this is what we're hearing now. And I don't dispute it. Murray sent me a tweet of this great picture of Deebo Samuel. Was it at the Super Bowl, Murray?
I believe so, yeah, or it was around the Super Bowl.
Because it looks like, if I had to guess, he was standing on Radio Row by the Sirius XM, little tent situation, their stages. And
he's got an Eagles jersey on, and it's a side photo, and it looks like me after I've pounded sushi for 2 hours. Like there's like a baby bump there.
I was going to say he's 3 months into the pregnancy.
Yeah. So what we're hearing on this is, we would have been in, but what's important for Mike Vrabel is culture. You see, culture. And he's got to be sure that the guy that he signs and makes the highest paid player on his team comes in and is with the program, because it's a bad culture if your highest paid player isn't on the program or with the program or a hard worker. And if this guy comes in fat and out of shape, that's a bad thing. And so we can't do that for the culture. Okay, so Deebo Samuel's out because he's fat. Mm-hmm. We've also heard Chris Godwin is the apple of their eye, and apparently Chris Godwin's not going to be franchised in Tampa.
Right. Deadline
here is in about an hour and 53 minutes. But he's not going to be franchised in Tampa. He will be available come next week. What the issue is there? Injuries.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
According to NBC Sports Boston, Chris Godwin has a very real injury concern for teams that are in the market. He dislocated his ankle last year, ending a season. Back in 2021, he tore his ACL. The Bucs have publicly noted what Godwin means to the organization, and there's a chance he returns. But until he's re-signed, he remains a free agent possibility for the Patriots. And as scouts laud Godwin for his professionalism and see the veteran as a good fit for Vrabel's program, however, he is one of the top guys available, he's one of the top guys available ability-wise, but a source acknowledged the injuries are real. Okay, so now...
That excuse to me is more real than the Deebo Samuel one. You can get yourself into shape if you're 15, 20 pounds overweight. That dislocated ankle last year, is he going to be the same guy? They're right to question that.
See, I think that puts him right up their alley.
A distressed
No
asset.
guaranteed
Exactly
money.
right. Yes.
No guaranteed money. He's the perfect guy for Patriot guarantees. Well, we'd like to give you $30 million,
But
but because of the injury, we're going to have to do it in roster bonuses on game day. But that works out for everybody.
okay, so D-Bay Samuel's fat. Chris Godwin hurt. Injury concerns. Tee Higgins. Well, he's not going to be available at the Combine. I'm reading from the Phil Perry story on NBC Sports Boston. Okay, yep, he's been tagged, obviously, but Schefter says maybe a tag and trade. However, Phil Perry writes, evaluators are divided on Higgins' ability level. Many see him as a number one type, but not a top 5 player at his position, even if he'll end up being as one of the highest paid receivers in the market. Others are lower on Higgins when projecting his impact away from a receiver-friendly situation alongside Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Quote, you're going to have to pay him like a number one, said one NFC receivers coach, and he ate a bleeping number one. Okay. Again, to refresh, Deebo Samuel, fat. Chris Godwin, injuries. Tee Higgins, not a number one.
Overrated.
Very good, Mazz. Overrated. Better way to put it. Amari Cooper. Well, writes Phil Perry, isn't thought to have much in the tank after a disappointing stint in Buffalo. How about DK Metcalf? DK Metcalf, as many have said. I don't have it here in front of me, but the word on him, I heard Burt Breer say this on the morning show earlier today or yesterday, said, well, Josh McDaniels really likes route runners, and it's really a technical sort of thing, and there's not much of a place for a guy that just runs down the field and puts his hand up. And DK Metcalf is not exactly a tactician when it comes to a route runner. He's really just more brute force running down the field. Not probably a good system fit for Josh McDaniels. Okay.
System fit.
Yeah, system fit. Yeah, he's not. That's not a perfect match for what the Patriots do.
This is the first one you've brought up I hate. Maybe Metcalf's like a game breaker type player. And by the way, Josh McDaniels, your system only works with Tom Brady. So this one, go F yourself. That one I hate. All the other ones I think are legit.
Really?
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. Do you think the Patriots realize that over the last 2 years they've gone 8-26?
And whoever you get, the reason they're available is because they have a problem.
Right.
So your beggars can't be choosers. Go ahead.
No. Do you think they realize that they actually can't set any sort of parameters on anything because they suck? Do you think they understand that? So they are going to focus on the warts on players who are on the market in varying capacities. Some by trade, some by free agency. But they're going to say, this guy he's not the kind of guy that guy's a little overrated.
D-Bay Samuel, fat. It's a bad precedent for a team trying to set a culture. Chris Godwin, injury concerns. DK Metcalf, he doesn't run routes really the way that we want to. And again, as the highest paid guy, he's got to be on the program. There's a culture situation there. And Tee Higgins, he's overrated. He's not a true number one. So I'm sorry, Jordan Schultz. Where then? What does that leave us?
Yeah, it leaves them nothing. It leaves them nothing because, again, what I would say to the Patriots, particularly if I were an agent, I had to negotiate with them on this. Do you actually think my guy wants to come play for you? He doesn't have a choice. He would rather go to someone good, but you suck. We don't want you either. And the Patriots should know this by now because a year ago they tried to get some guys and they couldn't get any of them.
The subhead for Phil's portion of his story, there's wideout options dwindling? ? They're only dwindling because you're dwindling them.
Correct.
They're still there.
Correct.
They're not dwindling.
These guys are on the market, and the Patriots don't want anything to do with them.
Because of the money. And so what they do settle at is, how about this one? Oh, again, here, let me just read you the DK Metcalf stuff. I found it. Seahawks wideout DK Metcalf could also be dealt. Though he isn't thought to be a polished route runner, and some wonder how he'd fit in new offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels' system. Industry sources believe a former McDaniels pupil, though, that they would like is, how about this one, Mazz? Jacoby Myers.
Oh, geez, I've heard of him.
Jacoby Myers could also be an option via trade.
So I'd love to have him back.
Yeah, so they blame Bill on that one.
No, I'd be fine having him back. Could you have a more uninspired, less aggressive take-home receiver than Jacoby Myers, who, again, I love as a third, fourth guy, someone in the room, great, if Jacoby Myers is in the middle of your receiver group, you've got a good, meaty, middle-class receiver group. But that's not going to be their prize now
No, on this team, he'd be Jerry Rice.
because they like their price and he's comfortable to them. It's like, is that what we're headed for, Jacoby Myers?
Something like that.
Now they can afford to be a little choosy, but they also are not playing from a place of like real advantage here. Like they need someone. They're going to have to maybe make themselves uncomfortable. Again, I don't want them like there's some real warts on some of those guys you've listed, but they can't all be bad and be like, oh no.
They are going to have to be uncomfortable. They're going to have to accept someone a little too expensive or a little too heavy or a little too raw in his route running or a little too injury concerned, etc. They're not going to get the perfect guy because that doesn't exist. They're not available.
If I were a hardcore fan of this team, this would drive me crazy. This would drive me crazy. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, and what do you have that you can thumb your nose at every guy on the market because he's not perfect? First of all, who is? This should piss people off.
All right, so this is where we're going to start, but we got a lot to get to today. The Bruins have begun their dismantling. They are making moves or have made one move today. We'll dive into that. We'll take your calls on it if you like. 617-779-0985. We got some Sox thoughts. Yes, Mazz?
What do you think this is right here on my pants?
That is so repulsive. So whatever was under the desk where Zoe sits has now made its way onto Mazz's
You were
jeans.
making a motion there before I didn't know what that was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think this is chewing gum that was stuck to the bottom of the studio desk here. Like someone picking their nose and rubbing their snot on them.
I get it.
Like kids did when you were in the second grade.
That just come off on your jeans?
That just came off on my pants, yes. Chewing gum.
Is that what it is? Are you sure?
No, I think it's chewing gum. There is a mint smell to it.
Why would
so
you-
I believe it's chewing gum. Now on my pant leg. How do you think it got there? You guys have any theories?
No, yeah, I can't really. None come to mind.
Yeah. Well.
I don't think it was Joe Murray. Seriously, look at that.
Stand and show it for the camera. So
Can
the
you want to get this? Look at this. Can I stand on the desk?
Yeah, go ahead. Stand on the desk. Go ahead.
Look at this. Can
That's
you see
disgusting.
it on my pants? Can you see it on my pants right here?
And it looks like a
Can they
bird-
zoom in? Can you guys zoom in? I don't think they can zoom in with that. Look at that. Look at that. Can you see it?
That's the wrong shot. Here,
Back
Oh,
over
this
there,
way.
Mazz. Yeah,
Right
there
here.
it is.
See
Yeah.
it? See it? There it is. You got it.
It's like a pigeon flew over and just let loose.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Like a pigeon crapped on my leg. Yep, that's right. There you go. Could be juicy fruit, double mint. Could be, I don't know, any one of those. But when I stuck my hand under there, definitely chewing gum would be my guess.
Seriously.
Good place to put it, don't you think? As opposed to wrapping it in like a piece of paper and throwing it in the trash.
Why would you do that?
Well, you would do that so that nobody gets it on their clothing.
Because you'd actually be considerate.
Tony, there's a trash can to your right? Like you
Yes.
could have just dropped it in there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. But under the table was so much better.
Meanwhile, the Patriots are cheaping out on wide
So,
receivers.
like I said, we can weigh on the Patriot stuff by all means.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.